Hey there, let's look at how to find the average value in a list. So maybe these are stock prices and we want to find the average stock price or the average score. So let's go with another list called scores, and let's do 4, 6, and 10. Now let's do 4 values here and another 4. So 4, 6, 10, and 4. To get the average, what do we need to do to find an average? We need to add them all up and divide by the number of items in the list. So let's add them up. We'll create a sum variable, start at 0, and then for s in scores, sum plus equals s. So for each item in the list, we'll add it to our sum, and then let's print the sum. So this is not the average, right? This is just getting the sum of all the items in the list, and the sum is 24. Now, let's format this, and we'll say sum. Now let's get the number of items in the list. Well, that we don't need a loop to do, right? We can just do that with a f string count is, well, what's the number of items in a list? We can use the len function for that. Len for our list, len of scores. And let's check this out. Good. So we got sum 24, count 4. And then the average, right, would be the sum divided by the count. And so we could do print f average is, and we can put we can put this little math problem right inside these curly braces here. So sum divided by the count, which is length of scores. Sum divided by count should give us the average, and let's see what we get. And there we go, a 6.0. Nice. Now, what if I wanted to use that average in some other calculation, like it for other purposes later on in my program, like I want to display it in a different way or something like that? I'm doing the calculation right in here. It's not remembering this value. It's just doing the calculation and immediately printing it. It's not storing the average value in a variable or anything like that. So what you may want to do here before doing these print statements is actually create variables to remember the results of these operations, these expressions that you're doing in the print statements. So after I print the sum, let's get the count, and we can actually just create a variable called count and set it equal to the length of the scores. This is just good programming practice in case you want to use that later, and then we don't need to recalculate it here. We can just print the count. And same thing for the average. Let's do average gets sum divided by, now look at this, we don't need to do len scores again because we already have that stored in the variable count. And so there we go. Now I've updated my program to calculate the values before I print them, and we should get the same result now when we run it like this. There you go. So that's how to calculate the average value in a list.